Welcome back to another video. My name is Abby, and today we're talking about 3 ways for you to tap into the power of your subconscious. Now, if you're new to this channel and you want more videos like this one, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now so you won't miss any future videos. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps to support this channel and spread this information. So 3 ways for you to tap into the power of your subconscious mind. We're going to be using ideas from Florence Scovel Shinn, Neville Goddard, as well as Dr. Joe Dispenza. And the first part of this comes actually from Florence Scovel Shinn, and that is her quote that says, either you run your subconscious mind or someone will run it for you. And I also think something can run it for you. And until you really understand the power and what is happening, the mechanics of your subconscious mind, you will continually chase your tail because it is running. Dr. Joe Dispenza says by the time you are 35 years old or older, 95% of your life is being run by your subconscious mind. And what is your subconscious mind? It is a collection of beliefs, assumptions, and perceptions that you have about life and about yourself that you have formed since you were born. So the first thing that you need to do to be able to really tap into this power of your subconscious mind is to understand that everything in your life right now is a reflection of what you believe to be true about yourself, what you assume to be true about the world, and how you think life works in general. And what is a belief? A belief, all it is an idea that you've thought over and over and over and over again, and you now have assumed and given it consent and permission, as Neville Goddard says, for it to be true, for it to have power over you. You wrote that check. So what you do is, if you had an idea that you just can't make money, that you're not very talented, well, you'll go out into the world and you'll literally not be able to perceive with your eyes of anything that does not reflect back to you that experience, because what it is your cybernetic mechanism. You have an idea of who you are, and you will act, find other people, find other situations to reflect back to you that experience. That is how you are meant to live in the world. That is how you see yourself to be. It is called a cybernetic mechanism. Another example of that is a thermostat. You never see a thermostat that's set at 72 acting like 80 degrees or acting 50 degrees, right? Putting out that expression. If it is, you would go and you'd call repairman or woman because it's broken. It's not doing what it's meant to do, which is stay within that set point. So you will find through confirmation bias, you literally say there's 100 things out in the world that show you that your belief isn't actually real, that you're only perceiving it to be true. You'll find the one thing out of the 100 that will give you a confirmation that what you're thinking, that idea, it's true, because look at this. Because you don't see the world with your eyes, you see the world with your brain. And a brain, through our RAS, our reticular activating system, is a filtration system that you give programming to based on all the experiences you've had up until now. Your subconscious brain can take in anywhere from 10 to 40 million bits of information per second, where your conscious brain, the one that's watching right now, the one I'm talking with right now, is only able to comprehend 50 bits. That information comes from Dr. Bruce Lipton. So 10 to 40 million bits compared to 50 bits. Think of all of that. Think of all that information that you're processing out to find the things that you think to be true. Think about how powerful it is to start removing those inhibitions, removing those barriers, and changing those perceptions to what is actually in the world, so you can start perceiving of what is already out there. Every thought you think produces a chemical in your body, so your body can feel the way you're thinking. The thoughts are the language of your brain, and feelings the language of your body, as taught to us by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Your thought is the electrical charge, and the feeling is the magnetic charge, the electromagnetic signature that you send into the quantum field. What does that mean? It means that that is how you are picking from the infinite realm of possibilities what your experience will be. Again, if we go to the first example of lack, that you're not good enough, that you won't be able to find a job that will pay you enough because you're not valuable enough to be paid what you need. You will go out, you will send that out, and then you will bring it into your existence. And even though if you're using affirmations, you're using positive self-talk, that's only one part of it. You're only sending the intent out. if you continue to feel lack, you will draw that lack experience into your life. And like I said earlier, every potential exists right now, just the same as there are radio waves going on, and the only way we'd be able to pick up on them is if we had a radio. We could put it on 100.3, be one radio station, maybe country. We could put it on 88.1, maybe a classical station. We could put it on 103.4, maybe it's more of a pop station. All of those exist right now. Depending on what station we go on, that is what we will be able to hear. The same thing is happening for the existence, for the realities that you can tap into. The way you tap into those is by thinking and feeling that experience. So you need to understand that what you're having and experiencing right now in your life is a reflection of what you think about yourself, who you think you are, what thoughts you're sending out into the quantum field, and what feelings you're having. Now that you understand that everything is a reflection, the second way to tap into the power of your subconscious is to realize how you're programmed. Where do these programs come from? From the time that you're in the last trimester of your biological mother's womb until you're about 7 years old, you're in what is called theta brainwaves. That means your brain is moving very, very slowly, those waves. After that, you get into alpha, and then after that, you get into beta. Now, if something happened to you, somebody told you weren't good enough, somebody told you weren't creative, somebody told you were bad at something, or you see something between two adults or something in the world, you store that memory as a truth. Well, because you're in a lower brainwave, it's essentially the same brainwave as your subconscious, that theta brainwave. It's much slower. Because you're in that, by the time you get older, you get into beta and you're in more an analytical mind. Well, the analytical mind separates the conscious mind from the subconscious mind. So that memory that was stored when you were younger now resides in the subconscious, simply because that is what brainwave you were in at that age as you were developing. It is what is called an associative memory. So maybe when you went to grab something off the stove, you tripped and fell, or an adult slapped your hand. Well, you could have stored a memory that when you go for what you want, you get hurt. So things like this are stored deep in the subconscious. You have an associative memory, but you don't know why. This is basically under an implicit memory system. They're beliefs that are ruling your life, but you have no memory of them. So that associative memory of when you do this, bad thing happen, right? When you speak up, maybe you're told to be quiet. You have that associative memory. When you do this, then that thing happens. It's stored in the implicit memory system, which is you don't remember. It's in your subconscious brain. So you're literally going through life and not knowing sometimes why you're acting the way that you're acting. As you start to understand that, oh, there's a lot of things in my life that I really am not understanding. There's a lot of ways that I act that, you know, why don't I really go for it? Why, when it has to do with somebody else, I go above and beyond, but when it's about myself, I stop. There's a lot of these different value systems. There could be hundreds, maybe even thousands in your life. The more awareness you bring to them, the more light you will bring to that situation. Be more likely to be aware of another situation and start unraveling the origin of all these beliefs. What really happened? What associative memory did you have? Again, earlier when you reached for the cookie and an adult slapped your hand. Maybe you thought, when I reach for something, when I go for something I want, I get hurt. You realize, oh, I was a child. I can re-reason on that as an adult and realize that's not true. I am safe and I am able to go for the things I want and be safe. The more awareness you bring into these associative memories, so you can unravel why it is that you think it's wrong or bad or not good for you to go after it, especially when it's something that you want in your life, an experience you want in life, a reflection you want out of life. The more you understand why you got there, you'll be able to unravel it and really reframe and rewire what you really do want out of life. Now, the third way to tap into the power of your subconscious mind is to begin to observe and change what you're seeing. So one simple way out of the book, Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, and a technique Dr. Joe Dispenza recommends, is when you observe it, you recognize, okay, I think that when I go for something I want, I get hurt. You can say to yourself, you don't have to yell it, but change. You see that thing, you recognize it, and you change. You start to use vivid visualization. And what happens here is that the brain doesn't know the difference between a really vivid imagination, where you're using as many senses as you can and really feeling these emotions, and an actual experience in life. So you're actually going to be forming the neurological pathways. So your brain will actually look like that experience has happened. Even though you haven't experienced it yet in the 3D world, you've practiced so many times having it in your life and going through it and living it, rehearsing it, that your brain is forming those new neurological pathways. So your brain actually looks like a new you. As you're spending more time on those new neurological pathways, you're spending less time on the old ones, which is actually going to make them prune apart. The biggest thing to help you in your reprogramming and really tapping into the power of your subconscious is gratitude. Dr. Joe Dispenza says the greatest state of receivership, the ultimate state, is gratitude. Why? Because that emotion is you've already received something. So if you're going through life and having gratitude for a life or a job or a relationship that you haven't experienced yet, but emotionally you're sending out the feeling and the thoughts that you already have. And what did we say earlier? The electromagnetic signature is your order form. So if you're sending that out, guess what's going to happen in your 3D reality? You're going to get that reflection back, because your entire life is a reflection of how and what you believe to be true about yourself. And in the Law of Assumption by Neville Goddard, that is what he says: what you give permission and consent to be true. You have given permission and consent for everything in your life to be true in all the formations and structures. And now you can void those checks and give permission and consent to be true. Things that bring you the experiences in life, help to fortify the experience that you want to have in life. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, hit subscribe. If you haven't done so already, like this video, and I will see you on the next one.